football has come to Southern Nevada as we are in the menacing new Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. The atmosphere here, electric. No matter the venue, the home folks love their silver and black. They are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Washington football team. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. On first down, Wentz. And incomplete to open things up.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
Here's 2nd and 10. On play action, it's Wentz. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Crowd getting in it a bit already. Here's an early 3rd and 10. Wentz. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a first down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
From midfield, here's Wentz. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's got this down to the 35.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Wentz now on first down. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
Into the red zone, Wentz. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Rocky Sin. And the Raiders are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass. So that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be. But early in this one, advantage defense.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Jonathan Allen make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Looking deep for Adams. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Completing it to the right side. Johnson. He'll get 17 back there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
But I think that we all figured when he caught it that short of the marker that the defense almost relaxed and said, we've got this covered. And then all of a sudden, space to run after the catch. And now they're screaming, somebody get him down. Fortunately, they got to him and forced the 4th down.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Out there set ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Throw to the right here, taken in by McLaurin. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big play that time on the catch and run. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet.
Under pressure, and he'll go down back at the 26-yard line. Chandler Jones, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Working from the gun, Wentz. Over the middle, he gets it to Gibson. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like it.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And the Raiders are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simple to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and
3
now
and
they
out.
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. This is intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Bear in mind they had 2 interceptions last week, but that was in 4 quarters. They've got 2 here in the first quarter alone.
And the unsung people in this streak, the pass rushers. Because most of the time, they're the ones that affect things in the pocket for a quarterback, trying to throw the football, rushing them, getting them off their spot, harassing them. And that allows the defensive backs, the linebackers, to swoop in and make the picks downfield.
And they're swooping.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
Wentz's throw into the hands of McLaurin. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. And Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a third down and less than a yard. They'll run with Gibson. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Now Wentz. Lines up and lets it go for Samuel. And this one is incomplete.
As we've seen, their first 2 drives didn't yield anything points-wise. Certainly feels like they think to themselves, it's time to open this thing up, taking the big shot downfield.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing is Wentz. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. This is caught by his tight end, Logan Thomas.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
This one was all about clearing space for this play to work because he's going to leak out of the backfield to his right and then angle his way up the field. And a really pretty throw to put it on him and create the big play downfield.
This will be caught at Samuel. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. Got a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. On 2nd and goal, Wentz. Looking and finding Thomas in the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Logan Thomas, his 9th touchdown of the season, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. So up comes Wentz as he and the guys on offense here will go for 2. Wentz going to look to throw. It's caught. And it's 8-0. So they're able to throw it in for the 2-point conversion. Sometimes that can be a risky play, but they got it.
Yeah, you always have to be careful here because if you do get it intercepted, it's returned by the defense. That's 2 points for them, but he identified an open target and put it right on him.
From the 10. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off near the 26. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing.
And got his man complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big connection on that one. 35 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Gibson here running out of the gun. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
From the 36, Wentz. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Chandler Jones make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction.
At their own 14-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw...
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Montez Sweat. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. A hole to dig out of here. 2nd and 17. 8-0 our score with 2 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're under pressure, and they got to him again. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
And he is out of bounds up around the 14-yard line. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long. Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
Well, to me, there was no question about the intent there, and I think he was a little fortunate that the penalty flag didn't come out for grounding. But he'll get away with it and get another shot on 3rd down.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Completes it to Samuel. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Wins to throw again. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Wentz. Looking again for Thomas, this time complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes. Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
From the 17, Wentz. He's going to drop this one down to Gibson. Oh, fighting off the defender. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter.
But they've certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit.
A 30-yard attempt.
And his kick is good. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting group from Washington who are out on top. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this 3rd quarter of action. Now Bolden on the return. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
At their own 22-yard line.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And they trail here to begin the second half. What's going to be a key for them to get back in the game?
I think they're right there, and I think this game is still up for the taking for them because we always talk about turnovers. They had 2 of them in the first half, and once you start talking about if you have 3, 4, or 5, you know it's beyond difficult to try and win a football game with that. Those have to be eliminated. If they take care of the ball, they've still got a shot.
29.
Here's Carr. Here's Johnson with a reception. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Carr now on first down. Looking deep for Adams. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. You know, Charles, for this defense, look, it's no secret. You're facing a team that is really, really struggling. They haven't won in what seems like forever, but sometimes a desperate team can be a dangerous team, right?
You're exactly right about that, but they shouldn't be. When they're on that type of a losing streak, it's incumbent upon you to take charge of this game early and not give them any reason to hope. Get out and attack them and make sure you knock them back on their butts.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I got wide.
Express.
Team, Mike, they're
734.
defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go. Mike,
Carr.
he's coming. Step in. I'm going to run you over.
And this will be caught by Edwards. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Express.
13. He's coming. Check in.
Carr to throw again. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Mike 13. He's coming.
Now a play fake. Carr. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Express.
Mike 13. He's coming. Check in.
Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. William Jackson with a pick. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
And that's a big one for them because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead. And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
He was trying to get that one out to his running back out of the backfield, but that one was read and timed perfectly, and they were able to break it up.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Wentz. And he will find his man, Samuel. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory, right at the 40. To throw, it's Wentz. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And this is taken in at the 5. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. A big play that time through the air. 34 yards.
It doesn't look like this defense found the magic elixir at halftime. This offense was rolling in the first half, and that's continued here in the 3rd quarter. Another big play right there.
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
Second down and goal. Wentz. Toward the pylon, caught. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And Washington going to add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Rocky Sin.
Well, as most teams do in their two-point attempt, they pass the ball. Instead, it gets intercepted. And remember, if you pick it off, you got a chance to take it all the way back, get 2 points yourself, right?
Yeah, not the case there, but that's why you got to be really careful with those throws, especially to the outside. Taken from about the 12. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
26-yard line.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. Third quarter from Southern Nevada. Here's a 2nd and 10.
Alert! 3 down!
From the gun, it's Carr. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Chase Young in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Ready? Watch tight. Tight ends right. Watch tight.
Express.
3 down.
On play action, now Carr. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And taken at the 46. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Wentz. Middle of the field, he's got McLaurin. And he's got this down to the 35.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want.
And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Terry McLaurin, touchdown number 18 on the year. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
This is caught. Was he in? Yes. 2 points.
I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
To throw again on 2nd down. Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Stop your whining.
Express.
Mike 13.
Carr now to throw. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time has run out on this third quarter of play. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Check Mike 33. Check Mike 33. Check Express. Mike 6.
Now Carr, got to have this one.
I'm coming after you.
He gets this to Devontae Adams. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
That's good for a Las Vegas first down.
Be scared of it.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Now Carr. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10.
12's the mic. Rip right.
Now Carr. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And that gonna be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and here we go again. Here we go again.
Again, it's Carr. Able to find Waller. That's complete. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Rip left, rip left.
Throwing on 1st down is Carr. Johnson's got it complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A big play there for the Raiders. And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him now over 3,000 yards passing on the campaign.
And Brandon, I think we have to start to think about where we are in the season, because right now, 4,000 is not out of the question. I think a big game or two, he's certainly capable of getting that done.
Express. 13. He's coming, he's coming. Check in. Man, that's trash. That's trash.
Into the red zone, it's Carr. Throw right side, going to be caught by Waller. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
The quick slant caught. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line.
And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. Derek Carr keeping it himself from a yard out. And the Raiders are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll cut the lead down to 18.
Raiders 7. Daniel Carlson to kick off for Las Vegas.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And this one has gone pretty well to form. They've come in, had little problem thus far, and now they'll try to polish things off in the fourth. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense can crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
On 2nd and 10, Wentz. This will be caught at Samuel. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Throwing on first is Wentz. Thomas brings it in. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big connection on that one, 35 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Wentz to throw again. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. Throw left side complete. That's Thomas. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
I'll give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
That's out to the flat for Gibson. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd and goal, Wentz. And this is taken in for a Washington touchdown. Carson Wentz with touchdown pass number 4 on the afternoon. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. So definitely a good day's work throwing the football. Very good day's work. A 4th touchdown pass as they're really pouring it on.
Yeah, and so much for going into clock mode after getting that touchdown, right? Because you would think with the lead, 4th quarter, they might actually do that. No chance. They've kept attacking and got another touchdown pass as a result.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded right at the goal line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. And the pressure gets there. He'll go down. It's a sack. And it is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. Jamin Davis in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Throwing on 2nd and long. Carr. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Now Carr. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Wentz to throw. Open man is Samuel, complete. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
2nd and 6.
Now Wentz. Throw right side, taken in by Gibson. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line.
1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
Now Wentz again. On Wentz is intercepted yet again. Picked by Jared Wilson. And the Raiders are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Hey, check my 618. I got it. Express. 33. 33. Hey, they scared. They scared.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. Got a man, it's Darren Waller. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Express. We got 3. We got 3, fellas. We got 3. Number 16's coming. Check mine.
Play action. Now it's Carr. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.